What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's episode we're going to start with something weird. We just got this 200-pound package dropped off from FedEx. I didn't even know they ship stuff this heavy, but it's like 140 pounds. It's totally crated. It was in a Lowe's box. It's from Carlos Maya. So if you're Carlos Maya and you're watching this and you sent us something, thanks for the heads up. Okay. Well, it's already blown out there. She's broken there. Way broken there. Hopefully there's nothing dangerous inside.
Is this a block from the guy you ordered the block from?
Oh, that's what it's got to be.
Oh, yep, that's what it is.
All right, I think it's time we get work gloves. All right, this isn't as exciting as we thought. Dan just hurt himself, and it's the block that we ordered. Bummer. All right, so the block is here for Smokey Joe. The pistons are at MJE already, so we're gonna get that down to Mark probably sometime today. We gotta pick up the Coyote that's done, so we might as well just make a trip out of that. Andre's GT500 is back. He's actually gonna be trading it or selling it. It's gonna be for sale. This is a 7,000 mile convertible GT500. It's in immaculate condition. It's got no miles on it. And we did do some basic bolt-on modifications to the rear suspension, and we are removing them. So it's gonna have stock rear suspension. We're taking the 410 out and putting the factory 331 back in. But it is gonna be for sale. We can vouch this car. It's super clean, super good. But he wants to take off some of the not true to vehicle modifications. So we're gonna take off the mufflers and the rear suspension. And that's about it. He's going to leave the lowering springs. He's going to leave on the MGW shifter, the braided clutch line, you know, the stuff that's really nice that everybody does. But the stuff that he kind of tailored for him, we're taking off. So anyway, if you guys see it for sale, it's a really nice car. And we're going to have that wrapped up. This is going to be the subject of today's, or the rest of this video for the most part. This is a 95 Cobra R. This is a legit Cobra R car. It has a full... When we get it back on the lift, we'll show you the underside that we just finished over the weekend. But it has the same suspension that we're putting on the Coyote Fox project that you guys will see in the next video. It is a full Maximum Motorsports kit, front to back, tip to stern. Maximum Coyote Swap K-member, Cook's headers, torque arm, panhard bar, coilovers. I mean, anything and everything that you need to do this, it's on here. We have it sitting really low because we had to set up the torque arm, sway bar, and pinion angle stuff in the back. And now the last thing we got to do is make a intake that's going to go into the fender well over there. But she's pretty sweet. Now, I know we're going to get a little bit of backlash on this, but I want to know your opinion. Comment down below what you think about Coyote swapping an original Cobra R car. It's a little controversial. So nothing's been really gutted on it. I mean, it's not like they messed anything up doing it. They didn't cut stuff and it's just a Coyote Swap K-member and basically bolt-on stuff to do this swap in this application. But still, personally, probably would have left a 351 in it. Just saying. Just saying. All right. Anyway, so it has been road race. It's a low mile car, but it's been all the miles around the racetrack. So that's kind of cool that it does have that heritage. And the other side of the coin is that the Cobra R was an experimental race car from Ford. Now it's somebody else's experimental race car. So got to give credit where credit's due. It's going to be super fun. It's going to handle like unbelievably. So it's all going to be good things from here. But we'll get this on the lift. We're going to show you making the intake manifold, and we'll get on the lift and show you guys how badass the underside is. It's going to be a nice little preview. of what we're doing on the Fox body, and it's going to be a super badass setup. So, all right, yep, that's today's video. Now we're back on track, regular uploads. I know we like run into this. We do like 4 videos in 1 week, and then we disappear for 2 weeks. We're going to try not to do that this time. Right, Dan?
Yeah.
This is the drag race Maximum Motorsports lower control arms, offset, and relocation brackets. Now we actually have a subscriber that is bringing his car here next year that wants all this stuff. So it just kind of happens to work out in Andre's favor that we're able to help him unload the used parts to somebody else. Well, got most of the GT500 already all done. Got all the goodies off. Now obviously drain the fluid to change the rear gear. That's all good. Everything's all apart for that, axle's all out. It's draining. As we're doing that, we're gonna have to run real quick. We gotta go down to welding supply, get all the welding gas for the intake for the R, and then we gotta run down to MJE and drop off the block for Smokey Joe. So we will take a little ride to go, obviously, a little cruise down there, and we'll see you shortly. All right, it's been a couple days since the first half of this video, but we finally got the Cobra R back on the lift, and we gotta ask, what do you guys think? Is this thing ruined, or is it awesome? So let's show you what we did underneath this thing real quick. We're getting ready to do the exhaust on it, but everything else is completed. It's all done, tightened, ready, ride height set, panhard bar set, everything's good to go. So now let's show you everything that went into making this thing ready for the road course. So this is a Cobra R repo tank. So this is basically the same thing that it would have had, but somebody remakes it, so it's new. It did have a girdled 8.8 cover, which we had to get rid of, so we put what seemed to be a fitting Boss 302 cover on it. It has tons of clearance on the panhard bar, no issue at all. Bolt on Maximum Motorsports anti-roll bar, which requires brackets being welded to the frame rails in the back here. There's a lot of adjustability here, so you can have different levels of stiffness. So that's works out pretty good. It does need to be kind of far back in order to clear the diff cover. So I'm not too crazy about the angle that these sit at, but it should still work pretty well. If it doesn't, we will have to loosen this up and modify this Boss on here, because that's our main problem. But at ride height, these straighten out a little bit more, so it's not as big of a deal. But so we got the whole Maximum Motorsports torque arm set up on here. Let's get a light going. All right, continuing. So we got the whole torque arm set up, put on the panhard bar mount, which requires a big change in this lower control arm pocket bracket. This is where the shock bracket normally bolts to. Now it's got this big, huge apparatus on here to put a panhard bar mount and the shock still in a stock location. It has Maximum Motorsports lower control arms. Once again, going back to the torque arm, which is a huge... it doesn't look like a huge project, but it is a large project, and the main reason is coming up to here. This is a heavy-duty torque arm cross member. So it has welded brackets to the subframe connectors. They also offer it in round, so if you already had round tubing. The paint on this turned out pretty nice. This looks good. Obviously fully TIG welded subframe connectors that we do here. Torque arm mount, and then now we have to modify the headers. So fully TIG welded subframe connectors, and then now we have to do the exhaust, which this is going to get a little dicey right here. So we're going to actually cut these off, the ball flanges, because we have a generic fit X pipe that we got to weld together. So we're going to cut these off so it's flat, put a V-band on both sides, and then we'll have to probably jog it over a little bit to get around this area, and then have to bring it together. The X pipe's gonna end up somewhere in this situation. Try to make it right through the middle here, and then to the mufflers back here. So that'll work out. All right, so we're gonna get cutting on the headers and then bring you guys an update once we start fabbing that stuff together, show you guys what it looks like. But for the most part, I mean, it's a lot of work to do this project. You know, between all the stuff that needs to be added in, the panhard bar requires being bolted in on the inside of the coilovers, so that kind of makes it difficult. So it's a lot of work, but it's nearing the end, and it should handle like a beast. And what's sweet is that this is the same suspension that we got for the Coyote swap car that we're doing on the other side of the shop. So it was nice to kind of get like a dry run on how it all works. But it looks freaking badass. Looks like it's ready to tear some shit up. That's for sure. All right, we'll give you guys an update when we start doing the exhaust. All right, so Mark and Wea at MJE has a couple V-bands for us. We're gonna run down there. We're gonna take Benny's car because we put stock axles back in it. He claims that once the drive shaft shop, or G-force I should say, axles were put in it, that the vibration started at 120 miles an hour. So we're gonna go drive at a speed limit and a closed course by professional drivers to that speed on the way, and we'll bring you guys with. Nothing too exciting. Laura's got to stay here, unfortunately, because she can't be in Benny's car. So we're going to run down, get those V-bands, come back, wrap up this exhaust, and then get a couple cars out of here tonight. So pretty exciting. Pretty good day over here, which has been a good, productive week. We do have some pretty good things in the works. Not necessarily for the channel itself, but I know some of you guys have been asking for swag and apparel. So we've been working on getting a solution to that doesn't take us a bunch of time. So keep an eye out for that. You guys will have that soon. We got some other designs that we've been working on that are going to be really cool too. So anyway, if you haven't done so already, obviously smash the subscribe button down below. But let's get into the Cobra and run down to MJE Unlimited Performance. All right, guys, well, that's a wrap on the Cobra R project. It's going to be pretty freaking sweet when it's done. Obviously, there was a ton of work that went into this to give it this road race suspension. But I wanted to show you guys one more time underneath while it was done. So hopefully you guys can kind of see. Let's see. Hold on. The exhaust came out pretty sweet. Now it's sitting pretty high. It sits level with the torque arm, which is good. Doesn't look like it'll have any real ground clearance issues with the exhaust, but we got hangers on it. It's nice and solid. It ain't going anywhere. The ride height still needs to drop now. We have it lifted back up so we can transport it easily and everything. Otherwise you can't turn it. They got a plan to do fenders and a bumper to yank these out. And get the clearance you need, because that's going to be a problem. What do you think, John?
I thought it looked good.
It's a little high, obviously. It's sitting high right now. But...
Amazing how you think you're going to drive this in the street. Like torque arms.
It's so low.
It's a road scuffer. The K-member is just about as low, though.
Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to try and get back to this evening with the black car. If not, then I'll flip the cars around and get it in the air and look at it. Oh, black car. Oh.
That front wheel and tire looks so weird.
Sticks out so far.
Looks like a drift car.
That's the K-member with offset.
All right, guys, so once again, thank you for watching this far. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit subscribe down below. Stay in tune with other social media outlets so you can see what we're working on. We're a little bit further behind on YouTube than we are elsewhere, so make sure you smash subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.